Hello, it's me. I think I have food in my teeth. Don't look. I'll just put my mouth behind the microphone. That's bad. I gotta not put my... I was putting my mouth on the windscreen yesterday. That's weird to do. Just resting my whole head. Hi there. I think we're gonna work on that Twitch extension some more. So we had a journey yesterday. Part of it was just figuring out how the tools even work. Because as I explained before, I'm starting to understand it, but it's a process. There's kind of a lot of moving parts. There's not that many moving parts. I guess I was just figuring out how those parts put together. And some of those parts are like very flexible in terms of what they are and how they work and all that kind of stuff. So let's start bringing some stuff up and let's see if we can get any of this to work. Actually, I just remembered some of it's not going to work. So I did a little more work since yesterday, and by that I mean I definitely broke some stuff. So one of the things I did, if you'll remember, maybe I'll just take this out. Let's momentarily remove this thing so we can get back to a functioning state before we switch the camera over. Give me 1 minute. I think it's just like one line of code that I was kind of in the middle of and then had to run off. I think this is the only thing that is stopping us. Not a break. Oh, I probably have to push this button first. Yeah, okay. It looks pretty weird, but here's what's going on. Push this button. So we're working on this heat mappy kind of Twitch extension. We were figuring out the moving parts. Twitch gives you some tools to work with those things. So this is the Twitch developer rig. This is the code, including the code to one of their examples, and all the code we wrote yesterday, front end and back end code. So on the front end, it's dead simple. Well, at some point we'll split this out into separate files, but everything on the front end is basically in one file. Everything on the back end is basically in one file. So this is currently our front end. It's the video overlay. And this, in the world of Twitch, a video overlay is something that gets kind of sandwiched between the video content and the Twitch layer of content. Let's see if there's any chance of me finding this in the documentation. I'm going to say no. I kind of remember where it went. I think it's in designing. This is a little refresher for me partially too. Okay, yeah, this is our sort of like safe zone where we can do the stuff we want to do. Here's what I'm talking about. So we want a video overlay, and that's as opposed to a panel or a whatever the other thing is called. What is the other thing called? I can't remember. A component, I think it's called. But we're not going to do a component. We're doing an overlay. So the idea is that you've got the video content that the streamer has up. You have whatever we want to inject in the world of HTML, JavaScript, CSS, crazy canvas things, like whatever we want to try to do in there. Oh, I just had an idea. Okay, let me table that idea. It might be a terrible idea, but I forgot actually that this was true. I forgot this was true. Okay, so we want to get into this world. And the thing we're just experimenting with is the idea of, well, what if viewers could just click wherever they wanted on the video, and that would be represented to either everybody or just to the broadcaster. I don't know quite how that works. At a minimum, you could imagine some sort of heat map that's saying like, hey, look over here, or I vote for this instead of this, or whatever. So like it makes Twitch kind of tangible in a way, right? So instead of just spamming in chat, you're like literally clicking on the world of the broadcaster. And I can imagine weird art stuff I want to do with it, but I could maybe see it being a semi-useful thing. Well, probably I can also imagine it being abused horribly, but hey, that's Twitch. So the thing we made, first we just made a thing that was pure front-end code. You click and a circle happens. We got a beautiful ladybug drawer. Then we started building what is called the EBS, which is stands for something, which definitely stands for something. I think it's the extension backend servitude services. EBS. It is the extension backend service, and that's just whatever you want. Let's see if we can find this. Let's see if we can find this chart. That is not a very good chart. I will say. So what I was just describing was this right here, this front end world. That's what lives in the frame. Back here in the back world, and it's blue because we make it, is the back end service. So that's where like the brains of the operation are. And the brains, we're able to talk to the brains directly through the front end. Although I kind of wish that Twitch took that over, but ignoring that for the moment. But rather than have our backend speak directly to our front end, in other words, you see this arrow going up here, instead of an arrow going right back here, we have an arrow that goes out here to the Twitch API. And then it's the Twitch API's job through this Twitch extension helper to talk to everybody on the front end. Which is weird, like that this is off in its own world because it really ties back to this, but we'll ignore that for the moment. So we built our first EBS version. So, pardon me, instead of just clicking locally in the window and drawing a circle there, we then took the click, we sent it to the backend service, and then the backend service broadcast that click to us, and then we drew the circle. And that was kind of a pain in the butt, unfortunately. Like, Draclin was a huge help, had some additional help from chat, but the issue was it was all security stuff. It was properly signing the packet to send it, etc., etc. Not very exciting. So then we had that working, and that's where we were at the end of the day yesterday. And some of the work I've done since then was really about following the rules. So one of the rules is, and this makes total sense, once you've got tens or hundreds of thousands of people on a channel, you can't have a one-to-one relationship there. You can't say one click, everybody's click is immediately broadcast to everybody. That would get untenable very quickly. And Twitch has a rule anyway for using that pub sub that you per channel can only send a packet. You can only do the pub sub thing once a second per channel, and you can only your message can only be 5 kilobytes. So what we have to do, I think this is the way to do this, is start batching those clicks. So we say we have a 1 second sample window. Could be longer, but 1 second is kind of the minimum that we could get away with. Just everybody who clicks in that second, we say, awesome, we just grab all those clicks. And then once per second, we go through all those clicks and we say like, okay, all these clicks go to this channel. Let's do the pub sub thing. All these clicks go to another channel. And so that's what I was working on. And it's not ideal, right? Because that means the fastest you can get stuff is 1 second. And certainly in this little sandbox mode, it looks ridiculous because I will click and I may not get a response for up to an entire second. I may click multiple times and I won't get a response up to 1 second, but then I'll get them all at once. I think that's okay. I think we can figure out ways to fudge that and make that a little fuzzier. So here's what we have at the moment. As it's just like I described, 1, 2, 3 clicks. I might get that click instantaneously if I just happen to click right by that. How to describe that? Like right at the very end of the sample window, and I end up in the next broadcast packet. But you really can't count on that. So in general, that seems annoying, but I think it's okay. I think we can, as I said, I think there's ways we could kind of fudge around that. So that's working with kind of building a queue. Right now, that queue just lives in memory. And that's going to be problematic when we try to robustify this, which is going to be the most annoying part of this project, is like making it scalable. Because this is a Node.js script. It's going to like run in one thread on one port on one computer, basically. And the more people who use it, the slower and slower and slower it will get. Not only the slow in terms of the input, but slow in terms of the output, like collating all those clicks and sending it to a bunch of channels. So there's no way that scales to Twitch size, right? So then you say like, okay, well, then you got to start having some, whatever you call them, instances. We're probably going to use Heroku maybe for that. And so we'll call them dynos. We call them instances, which is fine. And then that means, okay, 500 people connect here, 500 people connect here, or whatever. Like it's no problem on the input, but on the output, it is problematic because when we are going to collate, it's one person's job, one instance, one thread somewhere is going to be like, okay, it's my job to send everything out to channel X. And so that one needs to be able to talk to all the clicks that came in from everybody. So that means we have to have some kind of backend data store. And I'm not totally decided on this. I've done stuff like this, something similar to this with Redis, and that's kind of my instinct. But maybe that's going to be a hassle for particularly what we need to put together here. Maybe Redis is not the right answer. I don't quite know. Maybe that's what we'll start with. We'll experiment. This is all, by the way, just an experiment for a dev post challenge. It's a contest, basically. But I was going to add one more thing to the back end, and then I wanted to focus on front end for a while. So the thing I was adding to the back end was all the song and dance we had to do yesterday with the token validation. This JSON web token, we had to properly build this token, and I made a silly mistake, to send data to Twitch and have Twitch say like, yeah, you're good. And just so I understand it better and for robustness, I want to do the same thing. I want to have our backend, when somebody clicks, for it to say like, are you good? You're good, and kind of let you through. And I started on that a little bit. Part of it I got a little hung up on was I'm just not familiar with some of the tools, like this web error tool called Boom. Just haven't used it, and a bit rusty on the whole thing anyway. And so one of the things I was thinking is when we get one of these clicks, like right in the route, we would do our authorization check basically. And you know, it's funny, I just realized something. Well, we'll want to change that on the client side then. So this will be a little weird. Right now I was sending the parameters of the click. I guess we could still do this if we wanted to. I was sending the parameters of the click through the URL because that was easy. But we have this payload, and I think that's how we get the whole payload. So this is just kind of where I was. So as you can tell, I'm not fully versed on this stuff. So we want this, and we want their backend because this is an example code from Twitch. So we just want to see how they do all their stuff. And so I was stealing some of their code, and here's where they do it. And this is what they return. They return the payload. And inside the payload is seemingly where we can get the information we want. Because similarly, when we are going to send a payload, here's what we have to make. We have to make... this is pretty weird. The more I think about this, it's kind of weird how this works. We have to... I don't think we care about what's in the payload, though. Do we really? Maybe we do. Maybe we do just for validation purposes, because the payload is going to have a few things in here, but it's not going to have the stuff we actually care about. And their example doesn't do that, really. In their payload, do they get anything from their quest itself? They just look stuff up server side. It doesn't actually look like they're getting stuff through that. I mean, I guess we could kind of make up whatever we wanted, right? Let's see. Jacqueline sent me this test thing yesterday. How do you do it? Debugger. So the payload, can I just like put whatever I want in here? I don't know. Let's see what they do. On their front end viewer, when they are gonna do a click, they do this AJAX requests dot set. So somewhere they have some, okay. Create request. Where do they set the auth? Okay, interesting. So they just like pre-bake the requests, which I guess we can do. That's not a horrible approach. I mean, again, if we're gonna send our parameters through the oh, you know, the thing that I just said, through the URL, then the requests themselves are fine, I think. Although whenever the auth happens, that's when we set the request, but it is very possible for that to expire, I think. Maybe this doesn't care about that. I mean, on their backend, it doesn't look like they really care. In their, that's my backend. Where's their backend? Please don't look at their backend. Or don't look at my backend, look at theirs. All it really does is, well, it does a verify. So maybe JSON, maybe that verify says like, hey, is the, oh, I forgot. I hate this. This is terrible Visual Studio stuff. We have to fix this. This thing where Visual Studio like fake opens files is the stupidest. What a horrible feature. I think they call it pinning or something. Yeah, no, don't preview. Don't preview. I hate that. What a it's a difficult decision. Maybe there's certain workflows where that seems like a good idea, but that always seems like a bad idea to me. So this verify, does this thing care? I guess. I mean, all we really want to do at this point is say like, are you good? And so we don't even really want to, so verify and decode. So this is like, JSON Web Token verify. I just want to like familiarize myself. Good grief. Okay, but I want to know this specifically. So give it the token. So you get a decoded token, and it should just have, maybe I'll get something back. Okay, this is slightly where I was getting hung up, just because I wasn't sure how I wanted to structure this. And the examples use kind of a different setup. So I don't think I want to, I think what I want to do, I think I want to do something like this. And just return an object, and then we'll just check if that object has error set. And then otherwise, is this not a good way to do this? This might be a really weird way to do this. And then in here, when we do this, we need to say, can you do that, JavaScript? I'm making stuff up at this point. We'll see what happens. I thought next came... Is that a parameter here? Yeah, we just need to look this up. So this might be an awful way to use this. Express.js, boom. I only want express boom. I just want... This can't be that complicated. I might just not be thinking of it well. I just want to steal the boom way to do it. So next would be, okay. So we need an error handler. I think I even started to add this. So that's for cores. We gotta tidy this up. Or like, all our node stuff is pretty sloppy and linear. Error output payload, error output status, error is server. Anyway, then we need next and how's an additional parameter here? Is that how you do this? Oh. Okay, invalid auth header. That's actually... I don't want to... Oh, I didn't do this. No, I did. npm start, that's right. Oops. Why is it doing... Okay. Several questions here. Why is it kind of working? I thought if I did next that... I'm maybe doing this in a horrible way. Oops. So we got inside here. Maybe I only want to send a thanks. Else. Oh, we don't, I guess we just won't queue it otherwise. I kind of thought next would, yeah, okay, whatever. So else, do the thing. Where was our boom example? Return next. Return next. We don't have to do this. How about that? I don't want it to like log here though. Am I doing something totally wrong? Like, I want to return an error to the front end. Thought I was actually. Maybe it was in maybe I was console logging instead of twitch.rig.logging in here. Yeah. Okay, there we get our thanks. Great. And so if we do this, it's a horrible way to do this. Like, I'm throwing a 500, not like the actual error I want to return. And I don't know how to make it not do that. Actually, was my syntax just totally off? What are we doing? So we're doing a boom unauthorized. What does this thing do? Boom, bad request, boom, bad implementation. I am actually very bothered by that capital B. I don't know why they do that. I just copied it from Twitch. I mean, right? Like, that seems like a thing I should be able to do. If I have a payload error, then return next, which should be basically the same as doing that. Maybe I don't care about boom. Like, why does this throw? Am I actually making it into this? I seemingly am not. I didn't mean to get sucked into this. We require boom. What else do we do? Seems not complicated. Yeah, this throws. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. It seems not great. How about we don't? How about we don't care? I don't need you, boom. I kind of like that idea, though. Wait, no. Yeah, so this says If something's bad, call next. So like basically I would just do a string in that case. Right? Like, I don't need all this boom stuff. Get out of here, boom. So now if boom exists, if error exists, we will send it, we will call next on it. But then who handles that? Non-error handling middleware. You must catch ours. Note. Throw catch, okay. This is basically what I'm doing. I'm just like in another function. So who gets this stuff though? Like whose job is, am I good with it? That's the default error handler. Isn't that exciting to watch me make things up without knowing what I'm doing? So I'm getting a 500 error. Which, you know, kind of looks like this because I didn't send any headers. Do I need to do something else? What are these other examples? They say things like, well, it seems like you send it or you don't. I want one of these. I want this thing. You define error handling middleware last after other app.uses. Oh, yeah, okay. That's where boom is kind of useful, right? Because it's not just a string, it's a status too, right? Right. So when you add a custom error handler, you must delegate to the default express error handler when the headers have already been sent to the client. But that's a little weird. I don't want to. Okay, so let's just throw in our own. Still kind of confused about this because we called next, right? We did return next with an error. That seemed right. Is that not really the next? Is that not really next? We'd need a status code and we'd need a payload. I don't think we ever got to this. We still have not gotten to this. Pardon me. Excuse me, please. Oops. Is there anything really different here? Actually, error request next. I mean, does this truly need to be last? Like after Does it do gets first or something? Confusing. So we get here. Who's logging this? Wait, are we getting this? Who's logging the invalid auth header error? So what are we doing here? We are returning this. And we're saying if there's an error there, we log the error, then we do next. What? Error. I don't think I'm getting here. I do not seem to be getting there. So then who's printing that? Is that just the default error handler? Like, did I need to do something special to... implement the catch-all error handler? I feel like I'm making this too complicated, right? This is where we just were. Who's logging that error? If not... What critical piece am I missing? What silly thing am I missing? Next with an error. You call next. If I'm in a... I don't know what I did. Next. Anger. Error. Handle. We're just never getting in here. Is that, I mean, is it truly something silly like order? That's gonna be funny, right? If it's just that this use needs to be downstairs. Maybe it does. I've not done a great deal with Express. Yes, that's all it was. It just needed to be down there. That makes sense, right? Okay. That's silly. That's my own fault, right? Should I do all my uses go down there? Is that the... Okay, it's getting handled. Well, now do I want to switch back to Boom? Because maybe I was doing that. Maybe I was doing it right. the only advantage there is that it would be a little easier to send error codes. I could send a little data structure that had like what did they do? So they must have had some kind of error. No, because they're using happy, not Boom. I mean, not Express. Okay, we can cause an error. So I guess, man, I don't really want to get deep into this. Maybe I do want to just use Express Boom. That may make my life easier. This just seems like such a not useful way to spend my time. This seems handy. Do I want this? Let's just do this. Sometimes, you know, I just get hung up on silly things. However, we're learning here, right? We're just trying to learn some stuff. So now here we want to say, okay, we still need Boom, right? Oh, okay, I still can, great. So does that mean that I can do, that seems a little weird. Can I do something like oh, come on. So like we send an error or we say thanks and we QR click. I don't know actually. What's the proper order for that? What's proper etiquette? No, I already did that. Okay, fine. What did I forget this time? Yeah, what is it actually? Okay, Boom, great. Surely we've, okay, we did that, great. Require, you can be constant like everything else. Then we need, unauthorized it was, but I think it's still more broken than that. I think it's even more broken still. Yeah, because that boom doesn't exist. Response.boom. Do people use this thing? Yeah, people love it. Software Maker app. It's not helpful. Oh, although, should we make our... Is that really the answer here? Is our... Maybe that's actually the appropriate thing to do. That appropriate? I was going to say... Why does this just seem not to work? I feel like I'm following the rules. Because it can only be used in middleware, not in... So maybe I need middleware that... checks for... Maybe the token check should actually be middleware-y? I don't know. I feel like I'm getting like hung up on stuff that doesn't matter really. But I guess we could do the token verification as middleware. Where did it just get mad? Did I just do something super silly? 28. Not the most useful thing I've ever seen. Watch me flounder. What do I want to do about this? I just don't care that much. I just don't care that much. Who's logging this? Who does this? Who's treating me like this? Where are the places that we're logging? Guess the default error handler just logs stuff, and then on the front end you get a unauthorized error. Who knows? Okay. Is it uninstall or remove? Oh, did that take it out of there? I didn't know that worked. Is that true? Handy. Okay. Anyway, let's just simplify this for now and maybe we revisit it. Because this has not been a fruitful use of an hour. At all. I mean, I guess it is, and that, you know, it's learning. We're learning here. But, it seems mostly annoying. Is this thing not logging errors anymore? Should log whatever comes through. Well, it's only if it's a 200. Otherwise, I think that can't log things very well. Broken. Well, that just seems enormously broken now. Connection refused. Not even a... Oh, are we not running the... We're doing great. We're doing super great. But this does need to be first? Why is our core stuff not working now? I don't think I understand you, Express. Yeah, okay. 500 error. Fine. 500 error for now. Sure. Maybe someday we'll add some more robust error handling. Anyway, to make this good, the thing we need to do is on... man, this is pretty weird. Object keys request. So for each request, it's going to go in and add a header to it. And create request just and that has a success update block. So that's supposed to give a hex value. For an AJAX request. We just need to set a header. And so what the header looks like is just this. So if we just have the token and we add the header, then I think we're kind of doing what we need to do. Like somewhere in this world, kind of like the idea of caching this, but hey, whatever. How do you set a header on a set request header? Header and value. So if we just do a somewhere on this thing, we'll create it. We'll set header and value. Are we storing that token? I thought we were. I think when we get the token, we store the token. So that will look something like header. Yeah, it'll look something like this. Just this. So the header is authorization. The value is this. That. So now how broken is it? Still quite broken. Quite broken. What am I doing? Oh, I didn't, but I didn't do this thing. Okay. It's seemingly not throwing errors anymore. However, I'm not seeing anything. Oh no! We have to open it to set a header? Wait, what? Well, you have to open it and then set a header after that? That seems weird. Where's an actual example? Doesn't that seem weird? That you would open it and then do that thing? But I guess that's how you do it. Oh yeah, because you send it down here, of course. Of course, of course. Of course, of course, of course, of course. How silly of me. Request header field authorization is not allowed by access. What? What? Request header field authorization is not allowed by access control. Allow headers and please for response. Excuse me? You need to apply to that course, please provide with the appropriate course header to make this work. One of which is allows header. The header needs to contain same values. Oh, lame. So we have to explicitly say what headers we allow. One of which being authorization, I guess. Did their backend do that? I think their backend just said allow everything forever. What did we do? So their backend just says cores, you're good for everything. Great. And then what we do is, can we just cram this in here? Say we do accept authorization header. Good heavens, we got it to work. What a tremendous pain in the butt. So we're not validating it like very much at all, are we? We're basically just saying, I mean, right? Is this true? We're kind of just saying that if you have a header, you're good. No, we check it against the secret, I guess. So okay. No, it wouldn't just be any header. Okay, now we're more secure, I guess. That was a pain in the butt. That was not a fun way to spend an hour, and it's still not very good. It throws an internal server error if you're not authorized, rather than actually telling you that you're authorized, not authorized. But I think that's good enough for this moment. Let's commit it. I always like it on Jonathan Blow's streams when he's like, it's time to commit. Let's commit it. Oh man. That was weird. Okay, so okay, great. Terrific. Now what? This thing looks dumb, and I was thinking of ways to handle that. I think we're gonna take this in passes. I'm gonna say. So first, let's do something. We need like I sort of perversely want a like streamer stock photo. Mm-hmm. This is not what I'm looking for. This is all wrong. Whatever. I just need some kind of background. Let's just get some 1080p color bars. How about that? Beautiful. Can I drag this out of here? That'd be kind of cool. But seemingly I cannot. Okay, we just need in here. I wish it would let you see this on top of something. I don't know if I'm like just missing that piece of the developer rig, because you can do that with their little online developer sandbox that doesn't actually do anything useful, but you cannot do it well. And that thing doesn't even support video overlays, I don't think. I think it only supports components and panels, so just not tremendously useful. Oh, excuse me. But I just need to start seeing this on top of something. Can I do this? I don't know. What am I doing wrong? Is that not what I called it? Is that not the right place for it? This should be in here. What's the squishy? How do you make it squishy? Well, that's weird. That's not what I want. I want it to like... Oh, cover, I guess I want. Conver. Conver, I did it again. Conver. Okay, great. I can click all over these bars. Weird, annoying thing. I need a canvas, and then I also need some kind of buffer. We gotta deal with resizing. We got a lot of work to do. We need like a... So what we want to start doing is drawing to our buffer canvas and not our real canvas. In fact, maybe to begin with, we just do that on our real canvas. So what we will want to do, anytime there's a new click, we'll fade out the old clicks. We'll probably eventually do that on a timer, like fade them out. But let's just say, We just need to do something like... Do I have to do a begin path? I'm just going to do a rect. Can I do alpha? Does it set the global alpha to do that? Can you not do a... we can use some compositing method. I think we just want to do this. Very simple to start with. So we will make a... Say like every time we draw one, we fade out everything that's here by 10%. We need to get the... Is that the real one? Yeah, can you get it from there? Can't remember if this is the appropriate thing to use or not. Yeah, these are definitely supposed to be zeros. This is definitely supposed to be 0. Oops. Well, the idea is that we have this buffer that we draw to. It will initially be solid black. And then we will... kind of a lame way to do this, really. We iterate through and we get the click back and draw. Yes, we do. We do indeed. It's so violent. So basically, we want to draw to a buffer context. We should draw an image also. We need just like a little fuzzy image that we draw. But ignoring that for the moment, we want to draw to a buffer context, do all this. And I'm imagining different ways to draw. I mean, this is going to be a really boring one. I definitely want something more interesting, but maybe different modes with different drawing approaches. But this is going to be like drawing to the buffer, and this will be draw to main canvas. And now what? I guess we started making a buffer canvas. Yeah. We could really create that, like, but let's just be verbose because we can always tidy things up later. Only we could just be able to see it easily. The whole deal here is going to be, all this stuff's going to be buffer context. That's because you're display nunning. Oh yeah, you can't. You can't comment CSS like that. Okay, so it's there and it's working. And then the thing we would want to do is then draw that context to the main context. I remember how to do that. That's easy, isn't it? What's the rule? Can you draw image? Can you draw image with a... Why are there lyrics in this song? Yeah, you just do a draw image. Yeah. Because they'll be the same size and all that stuff. And we'll manage those sizes the same. And then so main context, we'll just have a draw image. And then this is where we will want some compositing happening, but we don't need to worry about that right now. It's not working. What did I do wrong? Is this one still working? Yes. So we seem to be drawing to the buffer canvas. That was all drawing in the buffer context. Oh, you need to give it a canvas, not a context. My mistake. Okay, great. And then we just want a global compositing operator of add. I could draw it a block there, I guess, to start. So let's remember how this thing works. Global composite operator. So we want to just add, I think. Is there not just an add? Do I need to do something fancy? Or inverted, multiplied, and inverted again. Not just to add. Screen, we're doing great. That doesn't seem like that worked. Seem like I did that correctly. Oh, it is still hidden up there, isn't it? Yes, you're displaying none. I believe we are drawing to the right canvas. I'm just clearly not doing something correctly. all this nonsense? Actually, this isn't going to work. This is not going to work the way that I was just imagining it working, because that only interacts with stuff that's on the canvas. It doesn't go through the canvas, right? I don't think. Really, I want it to be like a black mask. That's actually the thing. No, I'm going too much trouble for this thing that I'm almost certain that I'm not gonna keep. You know what? I think you can't do a mask. I think you have to write that, which is annoying. You got to just go through and iterate over the pixels, and that's slow. I don't think you can do compositing just on some other arbitrary thing underneath, which is what was going on in my head, but that's not a thing you can do. So that kind of makes me just want to move away from Canvas altogether at this point and use something else. I mean, we could come up with something for this. It would just be a little annoying. Like we would go through and you'd have to get all the pixels from the off-screen canvas buffer and then draw to the other canvas buffer. You do it every frame and do it as like a mask. Well, you just wrote that so recently, like an alpha mat kind of thing. Which would be sort of annoying. Pixel manipulation with canvas. Yeah, how do we do it? You gotta get an image data thing. Yeah, you get the image data. For the context, I believe. Yeah. You get the data and then you mess with the data and then you put the data back. So it's not too hard. It's just like you do something like this. So you would get the buffer contexts image data, and then you would put image data out the other side. This is a silly way to do this, but I'm not gonna worry about it for the moment. And in the middle, I mean, this is essentially what we were doing before. So this should act basically like what we were previously doing. Yeah. So, but then the thing we're gonna do in the middle is just mess with all the pixels. So this is where we would. What a weird thing. Oh, it distorts it. I see. So we would do it here. So this is invert, for example, which we'll do an inverted version. But what we would need to do, actually, how do you do that with alpha? We just need the alpha pixel. And then we don't really care about the rest, actually, I think. I think we really just care about, oops. This can be equal to whatever's in our red. And then all of these can just be 0. I think. Oops. Set red to 0, blue, green to 0, and set the alpha equal to whatever the red was. I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Not just averages. Let's see. Can you do this? I don't want alternate ideas. I just need to know about the alpha. Am I still compositing? No. Oh, does that alpha not listen at all? All right, like if I just did this, for example, it would just keep the... It just takes the image and says if it's not alpha, whatever. This instead would draw the whole thing at 50% alpha, I guess, unless alpha's... Just missing something? I'm missing something, almost certainly. I thought I did this in a way that made sense. Yeah, get it. 0 to 255. So yeah, right. So for example, if we just did 128 here, it would be the same forever. Yeah. That should have been the red channel value, and in our black and white world, that red channel value should mean something. So the alpha should... This seems like it should work. I'm, of course, almost certainly just missing something super obvious, but kind of seems... Oh! Yeah. Good grief. That's because I set the value before messing with it. Okay, so that lets us do like a weird alpha-y thing, and then they fade out, and it's so clunky and bad, and it's so like so not cool. So there's all these things we want to do. One, we need to probably just come up with a way to totally separate the So, like, because of this pub sub limit, you're never going to get instantaneous feedback with this approach, right? Because you have to do your click, and then it's going to go off to a server. It's got to get put into a queue. It's got to get collated. It's got to get sent out. There's always going to be a delay. Of as much as a second plus the amount of processing time, and at minimum the amount of processing time, and there's always going to be overhead there. So we can take advantage of that, I think. That needs two things, right? It needs, one, we have to have some sort of local doodad to tell you what's up, to say like, hey, I clicked here, like to let you know that your click, like you can get the impression that you did a click. And then when it does come back from the server, it should fade up or fade in some way or whatever. And this approach that I'm doing right now is just so ridiculous. Like, it's just having a static image buffer. It's just not what we want to do. Like, it's okay for testing, and we're seeing that like it's kind of working. But really what we need to do is we need to animate, and we need to draw every frame. And I think this is what I think. I think this is true. And the only way I feel like we can do that in a performant way is WebGL. And so the two things that come to mind for me are, one, I'm always into 3JS. 3JS is great if we wanted some fancy thing. But I was looking at this thing. Since we probably won't need 3D in this scenario, maybe we can get a lighter weight. Like, what's like the payload size here? Can I see the... I haven't used this, so... I want like a compiled version. Where's the actual... Oh, I don't need to do that. Yeah, I'm just curious about the size of this guy. Maybe the minified version's not in the repository. That kind of makes sense. Not everybody does that, right? Oh, it's fanciness. Okay, where was that hosted? Let's go find it. No. Wait, no. Where's... I just want to find the... Does this give a size? It really doesn't. It's annoying. Is that the newest version? Ooh, there's new possibilities. Okay. I don't think I have wget on this machine. We'll just do this in a silly way because I think we have to have everything local. It's probably gonna do something dumb. Pixi.js. I know, that was absurd. It was an absurd way to handle things. How big are you? Jeez, that's actually way bigger than I thought. I was expecting it to be, I was thinking like, oh, this thing's gonna be way smaller. Was that not minified? Oh, I didn't get the minified version. Ha ha ha. It's like, man, that's huge. Okay. That is 428K, and then it would end up way smaller from gzip compression. But that's actually not like dramatically small. I was thinking it might be really substantially smaller. So I haven't used this thing at all. I'm interested in it. I've used 3JS a lot, but I just want to draw a bunch of sprites and then have those sprites be destroyed. Oh, like, how do you get started? Please get me started. Run, Pixie, run. Good boy. Great. Look at that performance. Incredible. Looks like a mobile game. I wasn't paying attention. I was probably supposed to jump. Did it tell me what button to push? Because I didn't catch that. Oh wait. I pushed something. Okay, I think we're good. No, what is it called? We just need some examples. We need a short and sweet example of drawing a sprite. The basics. Is this it? Is that a sprite? Sprite from an image. So can I draw as many as I want? Like, how can you clone? Like, if I want... So this actually looks... Boy, that looks incredibly concise and simple. That looks easier than setting up a Vue.js scene. But I want this to be very efficient. I want, like... instances of sprites rendered simultaneously. Spin the wheels. How? How do I do it? Oh, not like that. So those are texture from images. Okie dokie. Container. Okay. See, this is particles. That'd be one thought, but then I would kind of assume that you wouldn't have total control. So this is just creating 100 dudes and sticking them around, and then when you click, what happens? They animate or don't. So let's rotate the aliens. So that just turns on caching as a bitmap or not caching as a bitmap. But it looks like we still have the ability to... So this doesn't seem like a... this is not a particle system. This is just sprites. So where was an actual particle system? Didn't I see that somewhere? So it looks like you can just keep adding. No, you can't. It's making a new one every time. So that's not great. Maybe we come up with some kind of object pool thing with a maximum number. I really thought I saw something that was like worms crawling all over the place. Because that's what we need. We need a whole bunch. Oh yeah. Love it. A particle container. So how does this work? We make, it seems like we're making a dude every time. Create a new sprite, and we're making 10,000. So a particle container. And every time we're going to loop through and mess with them. Can I like destroy them sometimes? Hmm. Does that look like 10,000 worms? I think it does. I mean, it looks like more than 100. And if WebGL was not supported, I can't edit this, right? Oh, I can. I didn't mean to hit that button. Yeah, that's what 100 would look like. So that's pretty good. 10,000 was about 100,000. Not as great, but hey. So are we smart enough to actually draw those in a good way? Like, because it kind of bothers me that it does this from image thing every single time. That feels a little weird. Right? Proto Container class is a really fast version of the container built solely for speed, so using it we need a lot of sprites particles. The trade-off with Proto Container is that the most advanced functionality will not work. Particle Container implements the basic object transform and some advanced functionality like tent. Other more advanced stuff, masking, children, filters will not work on sprites in this batch. That's fine with me. It is extremely easy to use. Yeah, it's just, isn't that weird that you can make, I mean, it seems like there would be a major performance cost to just putting in a million random sprites, right? Like, I guess what I'm saying is it sort of makes a little more sense to me that this would not happen in here, but that you would say, hey, particle container, here's what I want my sprite to be. But maybe it's real smart. Batch size, max size. Maximum number of particles can be rendered by the container. Affects the size of allocated buffers. The properties of the children that should be uploaded to the GPU and applied. Vertices, position, rotation, UVs, tent. Tent we would want, I think. We can have a blend mode, but I don't think that will really help us. I kind of want to just try this, like, so this thing, all we did was like, yeah, so, you know, presumably we would do something like, cool. I did a good job. I didn't do a good job. Where is that? How about now? What are you called now? Smart Alec? Windows, just show me extensions. What do you... Good grief. Okay, all right. So we'll get that thing. And I'll make a view, open a child. I wonder if I can not do that. Can I give it my own? Canvas that I want to use? I hate you. You're so stupid. Can I like feed it a canvas? Is that not how this works? No? We just add it to somewhere. I guess that's okay. It's kind of not okay. I want to have control over it though. Like, auto resize. Find a thing and add it in. Well, let's just try this. Let's just do this. I'm done with the stuff that I don't like any of this stuff. We'll just add it to main. Let's get rid of all this canvas stuff. Nobody likes you canvas stuff. You don't work very well. Oh, done with it. We're boldly moving straight. This may be a horrible idea, but we're gonna do it anyway. Probably this should live out here. I don't know what's gonna happen. Come back, developer tools. I got all carried away. Oh, come on. Okay, is that my view? Did we get a view? Whoa, look at this. Cool. Weird. Okie dokie. I can click it. Great. And then the thing that would happen then is all this dumb stuff we wouldn't do anymore. We would do something like that's kind of a weird problem actually. Where was that example that I had? Gone? Long gone. Like when oh man, I need a sprite. No. It's like a little particle sprite. And just like a single tiny perfect little power of 2 sprite. How do I do the thing? You're not smart enough for this, are you? We need Google Images. DuckDuckGo, you're just not smart enough. I'm sorry. We need a single, like, cute little. That's too much. Why is that so? Let's do tools size exactly 128. 128. What's that gonna get us? Look at this thing. Looks great. Can I steal it? Oops. Stole it. Then what do I do? So whenever I click, yeah, I'm super making this up. I've never used this software in my entire life. But I'm gonna just guess it's something like this. Dude, kind of like that. So the anchor point to the texture is centered on the sprite. Sure. Dude, X and Y is just gonna be our click, maybe. Again, making stuff up. I seem to be having trouble creating dudes. No. 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 Oh, I have to add it, right? We gotta do the dude stuff, and then we need to add. All right, we've got all kinds of stuff we're supposed to be doing. I forgot about all this stuff. So we want to make our app, which is what happens here. That's weird. Not get element by ID. What's wrong with get element by ID? Ugh. Okay, sprites, and then so yeah, sprites also needs to live out here. We gotta tidy this up. What a mess. Not today. Okay, make sprites live in there. Great. So now down here, we can do. It's kind of interesting. So that gets just stuck in an array. What is offset, I wonder? What about this? Incredible. Incredible. Okay, well those are huge and ridiculous and great. Can I give a scalar for the scale? A scalar scale? I want my Pixie app to be transparent. I hope I can do that. That's not a web browser. I made it up. Man, if you can't do this, I'm in trouble, right? Uh-oh. Well, this is 2013. Can we do it now? Background transparency is now implemented. Okay. Oh, come on. What does that mean? Transparent, true. I want it to be true. How do I use this? It's like just not. Can someone just tell me? Is that what I need? Like a Pixi auto detect renderer, and it's instead of what did I do? I did a Pixi application. Maybe this just takes a parameter that makes sense. I hate you. Look at that right there. Okay. Would have been in trouble if that didn't work. Okay, I want this particle system needs to be additive. It's kind of container. What was that called? Particle container. I just want them like the mode, blend mode. Add. That's interesting. The WebGL renderer only supports normal add. I thought it like always wanted to be WebGL and then would fall back if not. Weird. Oops. What is the syntax for that? This is old documentation, looks like. I need this. That doesn't look additive at all. What did I not do correctly? I'm going to make a particle container, scale, position, rotation, UVs, alpha, blend mode, pixi.blend modes. Where's our examples? Whoa, beautiful. Look at those clouds. Incredible. There aren't blend modes in this example, though. Oops. Well, that's on the individual dude. But do we want it on the individual dude? Blend mode to be applied to the sprite. So maybe that seems weird that I would do that individually. Like that dude would do this. I would have expected the particle system. Well, we're learning all kinds of things about Pixi. No, this is not right. This is clearly absurd. Who would ever do such a thing? Create a sprite. Where's the particle example? I lost it already. Particle container. Was that an invalid blend mode? That's weird. Why am I suddenly... What did I break? Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Of course. That's just silly. So blend mode add is blend mode 1, but that like doesn't look any different. What am I doing incorrectly? Let's go find the stars, maybe. Forgive me, I just don't know Pixie. I just started. It's new to me. Does this use particles? No. What am I missing? It sure seems like I should just be able to do this, I guess. That's a valid parameter for particle container. But I also tried it on the dude, and it did not seem to make a difference in either case. Maybe it can't blend mode. I gotta think of how this works. Like, how does stuff blend on just like a transparent WebGL context on top of an image? It's not gonna blend with that because it doesn't know anything about it. But I would expect it to respect alpha, I guess, right? It's so slow. It takes so long, and that's even just running on my computer. What's gonna happen when we like actually host this out in the world? How many millions can I get before everything gets very upset? This may just be a bad strategy, drawing all the individual things like that. I mean, there's part of me that doesn't even know that I need to send this to every viewer, or if it's just a thing that the broadcaster can do as an overlay, or do as like a OBS, an OBS layer. I don't want to save it. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I mean, Those look like they're blending. Is that true or false? That plus that. Multiply. Right, it's not going to matter against the background. Multiply is not going to matter. Gosh, how can we easily get this like glowy buffery thing without the ability to blend behind? That's kind of tricky, right? Like, I wonder why multiply is weirdly missing. That's just an accident. It's missing there too. Okay, so that's okay. I mean, it just basically means like, well, we have to operate in just truly as a layer with no ability to blend behind. I guess I kind of hoped that by doing the additiveness that we would just get away with it, like there was no alpha. Although this is still not blend mode adding, because even aside from that, I should see these adding on top of each other. Right? Right? False. False or true? What was going on with dude in here? Let's try dude's blend mode. Turn off transparency for now, just in case that is giving us grief. No, we're just not blending. So what's my problem? Anything? Can you not have alpha and a blend mode or something? Is there anything weird about? I feel like I must just be missing something. No surprise. Okay. So like in this world, seem like we're doing anything weird here? Do you need a filter? I don't think so, because then that that's fanciness. Where's just the regular blend mode example? This one. Okay, what actually goes on here? Sprite from image. No special settings in the creation of the app. I'm talking into my hand again. Bounding box for little dudes. Right? Like there's just not anything in here that seems like it's special in terms of blending. We're doing really good with these like annoying brick walls. I guess this is, you know, this is what I get when I experiment with new things that I've never tried before. Pixi blend mode add. Did I make that up? Pixi blend modes add. That's what the dude is set to down here. What are you doing, dude? Verbatim. And then just in case, it's also in the I mean, certainly we can do alpha sprites, I guess. I don't want to. What's this little friend doing? I mean, what if we didn't put it in a particle container and we just added it to the app stage? I don't know if it'll make any difference. Like ignore the particle container and just add it straight to here. And just don't even create that right now. Just ignore it fully. Look how additive. Look how incredibly additive. Okay. Was that not one of the things that was supported by the WebGL renderer? I thought it was. That'd be pretty funny if we were doing this the whole time. And it was not supported. Normal, add, multiply, and screen. Anything else will silently act like normal. So does particle container not support blend modes? That would seem really silly. Maybe it even told me. Masking children filters will not work, but will blend modes work? Properties. Pixi.particles particle container. The texture to use to render the children. Well, that's kind of interesting, but seems weird. Like that seems not in line with the examples. Is this the wrong documentation version or something? Like that's not. Do all of these come from somewhere else? Cursor mode. Cool. Kinda seems like I feel like I should put a little noise on these so I can at least tell what's going on, because when they draw like this, it just seems like, oh, this frame rate's horrible, but that's not the actual problem. Well, oh no, Backblaze is gonna start and kill us. This project's been a little frustrating, actually. I mean, you know, we're trying to learn some stuff, but so wait, particle system. That seems really old. So I update to on the dev branch. I just be crazy and update to the 5 release candidate. It's on the 5 release candidate. Maybe it will work better. Watch me. I mean, I don't know that I really expect this to do anything, but hey, who knows? I just don't have a just don't really have an idea. Okay, so blend modes clearly work because these are so blendy and blobby. Great. Then let's go back to the particle. Man. Let's turn this back on. Again, not entirely sure if he was responsible for drawing the blend modes. Okay, and now we need to go back to adding these to sprite instead of to the stage. And my prediction in my heart is that it won't work. It doesn't. It doesn't work. That sucks. How did those worms work? Were those worms just transparent? Where's all those worms? Hello, worms. How come every single time I look at this, I can't find the worms? There we go. Okay, are these worms just alpha? Is that what I'm understanding? That tiny maggot.png is actually transparent? Is that what I'm supposed to believe here? Gross. That kind of seems to be the thing, but even aside from that, I would like the additiveness. Like, that's just the effect I want. What could I have done wrong? A lot of things. Oh, is it just this? Good, this is... It's, oh my gosh. It's probably not an option that you pass like that. It's probably, oh man. This is, This is probably, if you're supposed to do it, this is probably how you're actually supposed to do it. Why did I assume that it was a option like that? Man, again, good. Whew, what's going on with me? Beautifully additive. What a goober. I jumped to conclusions when I was looking at the documentation, even though it did not tell me that that was the set of options that got passed and it was explicit about what those options were. I don't know why I made that assumption, but I did. And here we are. Okay. So what's that going to look like on top of a background? It still may be totally broken. It may be 100% broken. So let's see what happens. That is like, it's just this weekend maybe? My brain. Okay, well, that's kind of funny. I would not have really expected that. But, okay. Like, it'll draw additively on itself, but this is ridiculous. So the thing is I need to be able to control these individually and have them do their thing and have a specific lifetime and fade away and on and on and on. Like, in fact, we probably want to make like extend and make our own. I guess they kind of did that on that maggots example, where they just started adding things. Like, I assume this is just stuff that they are adding on the fly. So we could add an age or something like that and scale them down and let you click and so on and so on. So, and scale up when they're born and scale down, like give them a life cycle, like make them little autonomous dudes. And that seems like it could get costly for sure. I don't really know how many clicks to anticipate. Like, this is a tricky one, because there's like, you either are like drawing some static representation every frame that's potentially complicated and slow and heavy maybe, or you're, I mean, the drawing, oh, excuse me, the drawing to the buffer just seems untenable. So you're doing that in like Canvas world, or you're doing it in WebGL world. And in WebGL world, you could be very efficient. I don't know how efficient this is behind the scenes. It does surprise me that you can have different textures, but like I guess I would have expected that you would set the texture at the particle system level and then just create individual particles in it. But maybe it's really smart in there. Who knows? And I don't know Pixi enough to know like performance, stuff like that. Like, what's Twitch gonna think about this? If they're extremely short-lived, you could imagine a few thousand up at a time. And if everybody in chat can only click once per second, say, or even maybe everybody in chat can only click once every 10 seconds or something like that, like a longer cooldown, could be okay. It's tricky. That's a tricky one. I think I'm not going to stream too much longer though. So we made some progress. It was clunky progress, certainly. I kind of want to make these move around just a little, just so they do something. I mean, we could just steal some of the maggot code. That's gross. So how did they do that? They just had like we just have an array of clicks. And not even think about cleaning them up. Because that's another annoying problem. I don't even want to really maintain a separate container of them. Can I just reference them inside the container itself? Like, it seems weird that the container wouldn't give me a collection of its children and allow me to easily add and remove those things. Hopefully in a way that's safe to do while iterating. So now we will do like where's our dudes? And then now we have to add this tick thing, right? This cool thing. Gross. Yeah, whatever. So we have to maintain a tick counter. It's kind of lame that you don't get a clock, but I guess you can easily write your own. Like it's I would have sort of expected that the app to maintain its own internal clock, especially since it has a ticker. Doesn't that seem weird? For all this stuff, how do they do this? Is all this done without a clock? What are they doing on this animated sprite? That's just a sprite. Oh no, you get a delta. That's only the delta, though. Not just the actual time. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I lost the worms again. What are we just doing? Tick plus plus down there? No, it's a tiny little tick. Really, you would want this to be the delta, right? Why not just make this... Why not just do that? This is gonna be weird. Math.sign. Is this gonna work at all? Of course not, because I've certainly screwed it up somehow. What did I, yeah, sure. I guess let's properly, okay, pick particle, great. Helpful warning. This just lives here now. According to the console, okay, what did I do wrong? App ticker add. Definitely just made this stuff up. Oh, sprite from an image is deprecated. Should be sprite from. Okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. I'm getting a clock. What am I doing wrong here? Let's push, isn't it? What's the right syntax for that? Yeah, push. That's what I meant to do. How come it let me call add? It's not even right. Okay, great. Yes. Excellent. That was horrible. Kind of bummed about this additiveness. Oh yeah, we scaled this way down, right? Right. Just come out and say this performance feels terrible. Like, truly awful. How do I know that I'm definitely WebGLing? I mean, it looks like I'm WebGLing. Maybe I'll go here and undo my upgrade. Maybe it's just the developer rig. I can do a view in browser. I mean, still seems just truly horrendous. Like, real chunky. Why? Maybe it uses like, I don't know actually. Let's say maybe there's just something about like the sign, using the sign, because it this really seems like it chunks out. Although it seems smooth enough in the middle. It only seem great when new things are added. I mean, maybe this is not really designed for that. You'd kind of want to have sort of a maximum. Yeah, it's tricky because you could maybe say like, oh, this should be a. Oh no! Now particle container's been moved to particles. I gotta undeprecate my deprecation. Wait, redeprecate? I need to redeprecate. I mean, I don't know. This additive stuff, I don't know if we need. I normally like additive things because then there's things about them that could be very efficient and easy to draw. But I don't know. Maybe it's just not the right answer in this case. Either way, we want to. This general premise seems like a valid start. Like we'll use Pixi for now. We want to do something where when you click, you see like some little local ping. That could be a Pixi thing. That could also just be some little HTML, CSS-y kind of click show thing. Although I think I'd prefer to do it in here actually. And as people clicked, they would kind of appear. This is a crazy idea. Is this whole premise flawed? Probably. I think there's something to it, though. I am kind of enjoying watching this pulsating blob that we've done here. That's good, right? I mean, pulsating blobs are good. People like those. I like those. Well, this is boring. It's tiny. Very exciting. Now we'll have a beautiful screenshot for YouTube. A big pulsy blob. If these had a random offset, that'd be something, right? You know, like if we did something that was like, you know, down here, it would be like plus, dude. I mean, we could even do something like this. It's like, I think. It just seems slow, but is it really slow? Or is it an illusion of slowness? Maybe the way to tell is to hide the borders again. Doesn't look so bad when you can't see those black borders. How does the tent work? Tent? Sure. Is that in here? That's not in the animate. Finally, we can have a pulsating rave. Needs to be faster, obviously. Not what it was initially, because that was sickening. Twice as fast. Okay, well, the fact that we have a rave makes me feel better. What if we just made these huge again? Why not? Make them full size. Let's even maybe make them... faster. This might be too much. Nope, it's perfect. I'm slightly into this. Okay, let's just we've done all this. We've had these heartaches over just silly problems that I should have not, just silly mistakes on my part. No other, I've got no other defense. That's just how it is. Can I create a view that isn't a dumb size? I mean, just something bigger. Why did that happen twice? Let's zoom in and pretend we have a big screen. Big screen fantasies. Ah, comforting. Now I feel better. I feel better. I was getting kind of bummed. I was feeling like I was making a lot of mistakes because I was. But now with this, like, what if this was just going on top of my face all the time? It couldn't be because we can't do the additive over. That's dumb. That seems like there's got to be a. I was about to say that I had come up with a solution for that, but I'm not sure that I have. I mean, some WebGL solution where I was doing additive stuff and it was sitting additively on top of a background. Maybe not. Maybe those just had alpha. Maybe that's all it takes. Maybe if the particles had alpha, it would not be problematic. Well, that doesn't really sound right. Does it? Does it sound right? I don't know. What others? I'm gonna click some buttons here. Maybe I'm not. No, I probably shouldn't. I just want to like zoom into this more. And maybe like not see the fact that I'm zooming in, but oh well. This is relaxing, right? You feel relaxed. So, well, we made some progress today, right? We did the JWT thing. We sort of got working. The error handling is not good, but at least only valid packets come in and out of our whatever it's called, extension backend system, EBS. We got something going on with Pixi. Looks pretty smooth. I don't know how many clicks this is. We could simulate, I guess, a bunch of them. Maybe you'll do that tomorrow and just kind of see what it looks like with. We had 10,000 worms, so presumably we could have 10,000 pulsing orbs. That transparency thing just sucks because we'll have to look into that next time because I thought I had done that with 3JS, but who knows? Maybe it's something about, excuse me, the way Pixi does it, or I don't know. Excuse me, I just don't know the answer. I don't know exactly how that stuff would work. But maybe the additive thing isn't, you know, it's not, maybe not that important anyway. It's kind of cool though. It'd be kind of cool to have this as some kind of composite overlay. I guess for scenarios like that, again, maybe the answer is that this stuff shouldn't really be happening in the Twitch overlay, but should instead be happening in the browser, like that the broadcaster is able to do stuff and then just bring this in as an OBS layer. What if I do that? What if I do that? Also, yeah, these clicks go everywhere, so that's pretty cool. So like if I just took this URL and I added, I'm probably gonna break something, added a, this browser may not support WebGL. Let's create a new browser. Let's put in this URL. FPS, custom CSS. Okay, now we have a web browser that already looks broken. It does. It works. Okay, we gotta hold please. Reset this. Reset this. How can I refresh this browser? Wrong browser. How can I refresh this browser? Okay, so if I do that, and then I got this goofball little browser, but hey, whatever. Oh no. Get behind me. Here? No. Here? No. Here? Yeah. Okay. Well, this is kind of cool that this could theoretically instantaneously work. So what we're trying to do here, how can I edit the transform of you? By using edit transform, of course. Oof. I can't remember the right numbers for it. I'm not gonna worry about it. But then if I go over here and click on any of these dudes, they should pretty instantaneously. That is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna say that that's pretty cool. How does this browser know who it is? So if I do this and do view in browser, ref. So there must be something handy encoded in this, like the channel name, I guess, because it's got to know my channel name. Or does it? It doesn't, I guess. How does this know my channel name just existing out here in the world of nonsense? Anyway, let me think about this for a second. I'm a little confused here. How does this over here have a channel name? The channel name, the channel ID comes from, oh, when we create the view, I guess. Okay, so even though it's open over here, it's it's kind of cool. We could all be doing this right now. If only there was anyone in chat, they could be clicking with me. No, that's not true, actually, because this is not yet hosted anywhere. But presumably once it was hosted somewhere, it could work. Okay, well, we have a Pulsey rave, and that makes me feel a little bit better about my life. And we've been streaming for 2 hours, 46 minutes. Okay, the next 3 days, I have to do some work on stream. Like, we can't, maybe we'll mess with this a little bit, but I've got a workshop on Wednesday that I've got to do. I've got to do it. Way behind. Not behind. It's just time. It's just time to work. It's time to work. So thank you for hanging out on a weird Sunday night. And man, chat was dead this time. It was just the robot. I wonder if anyone even tried to talk to me and I just missed it. If only they were able to click on the screen and let me know what was happening. I like this have a rave thing. Actually, I'm sorry. I gotta do one more things. Ben! Nobody came to my rave. It's sad. We're almost to the point that we can click. I'm clicking over here, starting a rave. Just realized I want to do one other thing. Can I do like blend modes on the browser source? That's the real question. None of this image mask blend. Blend. How about that? That super seems like it didn't work. That seems like it didn't even kind of work. Like, did not even... maybe I put that on the wrong browser. Oh no, that's an image mask. I want to blend this whole thing. I think you can't do it. I think there may be a plugin to let you do that. I mean, I could do something real weird, like chroma key it. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at me in that. I'm in that hole. See me? Hey, hello, bye. Hello, bye. Hi, bye. Well, that's kind of accidentally cool. Now my stream looks like it's being devoured by some sort of cosmic nightmare. Well, that is definitely not what I meant to do. But now I did mean to do it. I thought there was a way that you could composite layers, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe there's just some weird shader thing you can do. I thought I had an extension or plugin at one point that would let you kind of do arbitrary shaders as a filter. But I'm not seeing that now. Well, now I want to find it. The stream is supposed to be over. I distracted myself yet again. OBS blend layer. I don't know. I'm making stuff up at this point. Blend modes for sources. That's what I want. Yeah, you can do it to image it. Yeah, I want to do it. I want this. I thought there was a weird way that you could like OBS shader filter. Yes, this. The OBS shader filter plugin for OBS Studio is intended to allow users to apply their own shaders to OBS sources. This theoretically makes possible some simple effects like drop shadows that can be implemented strictly in shader code. Theoretically. Multiply, pulse. Example shaders. Shader that multiplies the input by another image. No, this sucks. This still doesn't let you. No, this doesn't do it. You can't do the thing I want. It's impossible. It's implausible. Maybe I'll just keep this on all the time though. You could do weird stuff with this for sure. You could do stuff where like the screen was blank except for where the stream was blank except for where people were clicking. Like that could be weird. But that's all. That's only if you're using it in OBS land, which that could be a mode. Maybe that's actually the mode. Maybe like it's pretty boring otherwise. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna win this $15,000. We're probably not. Maybe we'll get the $500 like participation award. Okay, where am I? Hello, it's me. I think I'm finished. Thanks for stopping by. We will continue this anew some of the time, but I think tomorrow we've got to actually work on a thing. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for tolerating my struggles with these new things that I'm not very familiar with. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, have a lovely Sunday night.